I took a lot of heat from Democrats when I stood with Ron Paul on the issue of civil liberties and drone strikes. It turns out that you can make up your mind on an issue-by-issue basis, and you don't have to just be on Team Democrat or Team Republican, but that throws people for a loop. So now we have a new issue where Rand Paul is also going to filibuster. And I don't stand with Rand on this one. It's on gun control. Now, if he thought it was incredibly popular to kill a bill that has background checks, which in reality 91% of Americans are in favor of, he would do this filibuster like he did the last one. He would stand up, speak for 13 hours or however long it took, and get all the attention that it needs. But he's not gonna do that because he doesn't really believe it's popular. Instead, he's gonna do the age-old trick that Republicans have been doing for a long time, a silent filibuster. So when they say, can we bring this bill forward, he's gonna step up along with Mike Lee and Ted Cruz, and they're gonna say, nope, we're gonna do a filibuster, we'll see you later, and they're gonna run out the building. Well, you got three of you. Why don't you guys keep going? Do another heroic filibuster that will get everybody all excited. Why don't you do that? Oh, because you don't really believe that the American people are on your side. Now, they're not on your side on assault weapons. They're not on your side on high-capacity magazines. But this bill doesn't even have that. This bill is just about basically the toughest thing in there is background checks, which is, again, I said, 9 out of 10 Americans agree with. So they're going to do the cowardly thing here, which is a silent filibuster and run out of the building. Okay, so I do not stand with Rand Paul on that, and it doesn't matter which side of that issue you're on. Substantively, there's no reason in the world that should be filibustered. Okay, that should be a vote that's straight up or down. Now, if you want to make an argument that's constitutional, by all means, make your argument, vote against it, okay? But this is not the way to do it, and he knows it. That's why he's not doing it like he did it last time. Now, by the way, on the facts, I know I rub a lot of you, gun rights people the wrong way when I give you facts, but it's a sad day for you. This is the reality, okay? Now, this is from a Harvard study. Those with firearms are about 4.5 times more likely to be shot. So if you got a gun, the gun will protect me. No, it won't. It'll make you 4.5 times more likely to get shot. That's if we're having a substantive debate. Now, Rand Paul will not allow that debate because he's going to filibuster, right? But if we had a debate, he'd lose it. Now, how about if you're attacked? This is the NRA situation. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Turns out wrong again, Bob. Individuals who had time to resist and counter in a gun assault, odds of actually being shot increased 5.45 times. So it's actually even more than if you just own a gun. And by the way, people also, among all these different studies on this issue, wind up shooting unarmed people all the time. Why? Because once you have a gun, it's also statistically significant that you wind up thinking other people have a gun when they don't have one. And you're going to be shocked. It turns out the studies also show that they're more likely to shoot black people because they make the assumption that blacks have guns when they don't. All right, now let me move on to an issue where I do agree with Rand Paul, and that's on the issue of marijuana. Now, he's a libertarian, so with libertarians, I agree sometimes, I disagree sometimes. It's perfectly normal, nothing wrong with that. On the issue of pot, here's what he said. Look, the last two presidents could conceivably have been put in jail for their drug use. And I really think, look what would have happened. It would have ruined their lives. Now, here's the thing about that statement. It is indisputable. So you've got all the Democrats who hate Rand Paul, and anytime you give him any compliments, they're like, how dare you? He's the enemy. He's got an R on his helmet. How dare you? But wait a minute. You can't argue with this. Bush and Obama, given different circumstances, would have been in jail and might have been in jail for a long, long time and certainly would not have become president, let alone anything else. Bush came from privilege and Obama came from the middle class, and then when he was smoking a lot of pot, at one point he was at Columbia. So, is a Columbia kid as likely to be arrested as a kid in the Bronx? Or in Logan, West Virginia? Hell no. You know it, I know it, right? And Rand Paul is definitely right about that, and he continues. They got lucky, but a lot of poor kids, particularly in the inner city, don't get lucky. They don't have good attorneys, and they go to jail for these things, and I think it's a big mistake. Now, when you look at the totality of Rand Paul, would I rather have him in office or just a standard corporatist, conservative Democrat that you would get out of Kentucky? Now, look, that might not be the case. Ashley Judd's running in Kentucky, and she might be a terrific progressive. If I had a real progressive, of course I vote for the progressive. If you give me one of the Democratic robots, I'd take Rand Paul. Watch Democratic heads explode. I can't stand what he's doing on gun control. I can't stand what he's doing on probably about 80% of the issues. But the Democrats aren't going to do anything anyway. And at least on some issues, like marijuana, on drones, etc., Rand Paul is totally right, fights, and gets some degree of action. When he fought on the drone issue, what happened? The White House was like, okay, you win. I mean, we never meant to use drones inside the U.S. against U.S. citizens. Did we say that? Did we imply that? No, we didn't mean that. Bullshit, that's exactly what you meant, and he beat you at it. You think the White House would have listened to a Democrat? We've had Democrats complaining about drones, some rare good Democrats like Senator Wyden. Did that do any good? Hell no, man. Obama's like, Democrat? I don't give a shit about Democrats. Oh my God, a Republican Senate? Okay, yes, sir, absolutely, sir, right? So is Rand Paul doing more good than a Democrat would in that seat? In this particular case? Absolutely.